Having a roof over your head is a basic human need and right, but owning a home of your own also meets a deeper emotional need to feel secure, in control and worthy. In this short video, I'm going to explain the what, the why and the how of buying a home so you avoid the pitfalls and you make good decisions. And make sure you hit the subscribe button below this video so you stay up to date with my latest content. And if you found this video helpful, please give me a big thumbs up below. I'm Jason Butler, and I've spent the last 30 years studying the traits, skills and habits of financially successful people, and I've found that they leave plenty of clues. Now, buying a home is the largest financial decision you're ever likely to make. Get it right and it'll enhance your financial well-being and your happiness, but get it wrong and it could harm your finances and your quality of life. There are three main reasons why buying a home makes a lot of sense. You'll have more control. Unlike when you rent, as long as you keep up with payments on any mortgage, no one can tell you to leave your home. And as long as you can sell the house and afford a new property, you can move whenever it suits you. You should also have an easier retirement. As long as you keep up with repayments on any mortgage and the term of the mortgage finishes before you stop working, you'll have a much easier retirement. That's because you won't have to keep paying rent in older age if you own your own home. So you can view buying your home as almost saving towards retirement as well. And you should make more money. Over the long term, it should be good for you and your heirs financially. As this chart shows, on average, the value of houses in the UK has increased well above inflation over the long term. Now, the return hasn't been as good as global stock markets after allowing for costs associated with owning and keeping property in good order, but it comes a very good second place. So on the face of it, buying your home looks like a good bet, but there are some downsides to buying your home. Firstly, you take on all the risks and ongoing costs of repairs and maintenance. Property needs constant attention and money to keep it in a good state of repair because things wear out, degrade and age. I know a young couple who had to spend thousands replacing a boiler and dealing with dry rot within just the first year of owning their home. And that wiped out their emergency fund and caused them to take out an extra loan. And as you might have heard in the news recently, thousands of people are trapped in unsaleable and practically worthless apartments because they're covered in dangerous cladding. Now, I'm sure the government will resolve this issue, but how many years will it take? In the meantime, the owners are prisoners in their own homes, unable to sell or move. Secondly, prices don't always only go up. Now, while the average price of a house has certainly gone up a lot over the last 25 years or so, and some areas of the UK have seen prices continuing to rise over the last few years, that does mask some regional variations. For example, the value of many homes in Northern Ireland and the Northwest are no higher now than they were in 2008, and current average prices are at an all-time high. This means that even if prices don't fall much from here, future price growth is likely to be much lower or even possibly non-existent over the next decade, and prices can and do fall from time to time as a result of the economic situation. For example, I bought my first home in 1989 just as the economy was slowing down. I paid £62,000 for an apartment that was up for £66,000. I thought I'd got a bargain. Now, 5 years later, I sold that property for £44,000 and I had to come up with £12,000 to clear the mortgage in order to be able to move. And there are examples of where a similar negative equity situations happened in various parts of the UK today. And new homes are very risky. Most new homes are sold at a premium to the second-hand market. The idea is that you have a guarantee from the developer and repairs and maintenance should be much less on a new home. But many new homes aren't built to the same quality as many older homes and often have lots of issues that need resolving and you have to fight to get them put right. And homes bought under the government's Help to Buy scheme are sold at a premium of at least 15% and in some cases as much as 25% to the second-hand market. And that's because the availability of the government's finance assistance. The problem comes if you come to sell at the same time as a downturn in the housing market. And prices of houses are very sensitive to interest rates. Interest rates fell sharply from the global financial crisis in 2008 to 2009 and now are at an all-time low, as this chart you can see shows. Even a small increase in interest rates in the future won't just increase the monthly cost of a variable rate mortgage, it'll also pull down house prices. And with governments around the world pumping massive amounts of money into their economies, this might lead to rising inflation, and that's highly likely to cause interest rates to rise. So watch out. And buying a home might restrict your ability to make money. Buying a home means that you have to tie up capital as a down payment, which is money that you can't use to invest in a business or other investment property. And it might also reduce your flexibility to move for work or business reasons in a way that renting doesn't. And check out my recent blog on buying versus renting. Okay, so I've now explained the pros and the cons. Are you still keen to buy a home? If so, here are my 7 top tips for getting a great deal. Firstly, make sure this is the right time. Don't be in a hurry to buy a home. Renting is perfectly fine for the short term, and particularly when you're young or you need the maximum amount of flexibility and options. Don't be influenced by stamp duty holidays, house price inflation, your parents or friends, estate agents, or even what's in the media. Buying a home is a really big step, and you can afford to take your time. Secondly, make sure that you're ready. You can only buy a home when you're financially ready to do so, and that means that you're debt-free, you've got a fully funded emergency fund of between 3 to 6 months essential living costs, and your income is stable. You also need to make sure that your credit score is as high as it can be by checking your credit file, registering to vote, minimizing the use of credit cards, and minimizing overall outgoings. And work out what you can afford, not what a bank will lend you. You need a down payment of no less than 10%, but ideally it should be 20% to ensure that you're not trapped in your house if the value falls. And do your calculations on a mortgage term of no more than 25 years, not 30 or 35 years, because otherwise you're going to pay thousands and thousands more in interest over the term of the loan. Your monthly mortgage payments shouldn't exceed 25% of your household net income. And remember to include allowance for ongoing maintenance and repairs in those calculations. And do your research. The more knowledge you have about what's available, what's selling, what prices are being paid, and the general trends, the better you'll be able to negotiate and find a good deal. Register with all the property portals like Rightmove, Zoopla, On the Market, eMove, and Gumtree. And make sure that you look at prices sold, not just for sale prices, over the last 15 or 18 months. And also look at when properties were first listed, and do watch out here for properties that have been relisted a few months after being withdrawn. If you're watching regularly and for long enough, you're going to spot those. Now, I want to level with you. The research phase can be really hard work. It can be boring and time consuming, but like anything worthwhile, it's going to pay you back many times over. Treat buying a house like a second job. The more you know, the better the outcome. For example, if you spent 200 hours, but it meant that you saved £20,000 over the next 10 years, that's the same as earning £100 an hour after tax. Plus, you'll find a home that you enjoy living in, it will be easier to sell, and you're going to minimize the chance of you losing money. And look at a lot of properties. I can't emphasize this point enough. You have to look at a lot of properties, not just to find out what you like, but also what you don't like. The clearer you can be about must-haves and any red lines, the easier it will be for you to find the right property. And it will also help you with your research. And even if you do like a property a lot, be as nonchalant and as unenthusiastic as possible if you meet the owner or an estate agent. You want to convey an unhurried and calm manner, and that you've got plenty of options and time to make a good decision. And make lots of cheeky offers. Now look, assuming you know what you can afford, you've got a mortgage offer in principle, you've done your research and looked at lots of properties, then you need to be prepared to make lots of offers for suitable properties in order to buy at the right price. Now, top property buying agent Henry Pryor advises that a property is worth what the willing buyer is prepared to pay. It's not what the seller thinks it's worth, what they need, what an agent tells them, or what they paid for it. And as a first-time buyer, you're a really valuable commodity because you don't need to sell a property to be able to purchase their property. So make offers of at least 15% below what similar properties are sold for until you find a motivated seller. Now, motivated sellers want your money more than they want the highest price. Examples of motivated sellers include developers who need to get the first few properties sold on a development to encourage more buyers, or the last few units sold so that they can move on from that site. Executors who want to wind up a deceased person's estate and are under pressure from the beneficiaries for their inheritance. Owners who are going through divorce, bankruptcy, or business difficulties and who need money. Elderly owners who've moved into residential care and who need the proceeds of their home to fund their care costs. And people who are moving away or abroad for work and who are under time pressure to sort out their finances. Find a motivated seller of the right house and you're going to find a really good deal. And just one more thing if you're looking at buying a new home under the Help to Buy scheme. The developer's margin on these homes is somewhere between 25 to 30% on those properties. And the government's own research says that those properties are sold at a premium to second-hand homes of at least 15%. So here's the thing, make offers of at least 15% below asking price. If other people want to overpay, let them. Don't let yourself become a sucker. And finally, watch out for agents' tricks. Estate agents work for the seller, not the buyer. Don't think for a minute that they've got your best interests at heart. They want to sell the property in order to get paid a commission, so take anything they say with a pinch of salt. And don't fall for them insisting that their in-house mortgage advisor must know your financial situation before they submit your offer. They can't insist on this, and you don't want them to know your financial position because that's going to reduce your ability to negotiate. All they need to know is that you can afford the price and you can finance it. And the law states that estate agents must tell sellers as soon as is reasonably possible about all offers that they receive at any time until contracts have been exchanged, or in Scotland, missives have been concluded. The only exception to this is if the offer is an amount or type which the seller has specifically instructed the agent in writing not to pass on, but that's very rare. And the agent must confirm each offer in writing to the seller and to you as the potential buyer within 2 working days. Buying a house is a big step, and it's easy to get overwhelmed or carried away. Follow my 7 steps and you should have a good result. All the very best of luck. And remember, please do hit subscribe and give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video.